something.
I thought it was me.
Me too. I was like, okay, that's fine.
I am your host, Tony Moore, and we are here to give you a full recap of this week's episodes of Days. I am also joined by some wonderful co-hosts. We have, to my far, far left, with dreams of being the next Chad DeMera.
Mrs. Chad DeMera.
Watch out, Abigail. We have
Mark J. Freeman in the house.
And of course, y'all know my chocolate twin with the Quiet Storm voice. We have
James Lott Jr. I'm back.
Hey, welcome. Oh, that's right. Welcome back.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Was it last week that we had Cassie and Camila?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. That, for some reason,
I know,
now
it felt
seems
like a long time
ages
ago.
It's been a couple of weeks since I've been
I think
here.
because of Lauren being here.
Oh,
Oh,
too.
yes.
But I'm happy to be back. I'm a little rusty, but I'm happy to be back.
Yes.
With my peeps.
Well,
I brought my oil can.
There you go.
We'll keep
Right. Grease me up. Oh, no, something else.
And thank you guys for tuning in live. Also, don't forget we are on Facebook and Instagram. If you haven't liked us and follow us already, make sure you search DISHIN Days. That's DISHIN Days, DAYS, to keep up with all the latest and greatest things that are happening social media wise.
We post all kinds of stuff on there, so
We
please,
do.
yes.
We do. And because you guys have been so great and you guys keep following us and liking us, we have over 600 followers
Yes.
on Instagram
Yes.
and over 2,100 likes on Facebook. I think that deserves a giveaway.
Another giveaway,
Yeah,
kids.
so make sure you pay attention. We will post that later on today.
I'll clean out my closet. I can give away some of my old clothes.
They don't want that.
I promise
Who
it
wants
won't-
my old clothes?
Not even
Message
Goodwill.
below.
Goodwill.
Not even who?
Goodwill.
Why don't you pack them up and take them to Billy Flynn's house?
Oh,
I'm sure they'll be
because
great
we don't
there.
need clothes.
Oh, God.
Be nice to my William Michael.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Oh, God. Here we go.
All right, ladies and gents, you guys have been waiting. It is now time to start
DISHIN Days. Here we go. It's been a while. Hi, Hourglass.
Hi.
Hey, baby. And now we're going to flip it and
Set it and forget
Set
it.
it and forget it.
Well, flip it and forget it.
Oh, should we show the? Do we want to show the book? Or is that later?
We can do it later.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, apparently somebody did not look at their outline today.
I did look at it.
If you did, then you would know that. It's
But
not
I was
time to
like,
talk
I
about
thought,
that.
I feel like you said something about it already, so I was
No.
like, oh, I didn't show it.
I mean,
It's okay.
okay. I mean, we can
go on.
Should we go right into the show, or do
It's
you want to?
that, it's that kind of show, kids.
No,
That-
I
that
I
kind of
thought that
show.
I missed my cue.
No.
And I got nervous.
Listen, you were all in Billy Flynn land. That's
Yeah.
why.
Well, it's your fault.
It's not my fault.
You
I
brought
didn't
him
create
up.
Billy.
You brought him up.
But you were thinking about him.
But I'm always thinking about him, and you know that.
Children. Like, jeez Christ. Jeez.
You can call me Mark. We're close friends now.
Oh, boy. So speaking of Mark, get us started.
It's your cue.
So I forgot.
It's that kind of show today. That kind of show.
No, well, we start with the funeral.
Oh,
Yes.
because it'll get serious in a second.
Because, yes. And let me just say,
Okay, go ahead.
Brian Datillo.
Yeah.
I swear
Gets you
to you,
every
if he
time.
wasn't in the episodes about, I honestly don't think if he wasn't there and wasn't on the show, I don't think I would have cried at all.
Yeah.
He just
Well, I
breaking my heart.
I did cry a little bit with Kate, and a little bit with Freddie, of course. But no, Brian Datillo, hands down,
Yeah.
hands down.
Yeah.
I mean, he is really showing the grief.
Yeah.
I wrote down. It was actually almost going to be my quote of the week. What he had said that I literally lost it when he said at the very end of his speech, he said he was my best friend, and I don't know how I will go on without him. I lost it.
Yeah,
I lost it.
I was at the 30-minute mark, and I think I texted these two guys at the 30-minute mark.
Yeah.
And I said I had to stop it. I was sobbing like a baby. I was doing the ugly cry again, kids. I was doing the ugly cry.
There was a lot of ugly crying on Days of Our
There
Lives
was.
on that side.
on that side too. But
I was like, you go, girl, with the ugly cry.
yeah, exactly. I mean, if I had mascara open running, I mean, it was a tough episode to watch, and for me, as I'm the only father on this team, I just saw one of my
Well, Mark's
daughters.
a father. He has dogs.
I have dogs. Oh, I'd be devastated.
Well, I mean, I would be just my dog too. But I'm just saying, as a person of a child,
Yeah.
I love my
Tony.
dogs.
What?
That's why I have Tony.
He's a child. Oh my
No,
Jesus.
you have your husband.
I do.
But no, I'm just saying, since I'm interrupted, I was just saying is that as a father, I was put myself in his place kind of because a lot of men aren't able to show emotion. We expected Sammy and Kate and Marty and all of them to cry, but Brian Attilo as a dad.
That's what I think it is. I think it's that father-son thing. And I remember when my father passed away, his father was, my grandfather was still alive, and he had to leave. He was like, he couldn't even be in the funeral home because he just couldn't handle.
I can't imagine.
Bearing a child. Yeah. And I think that's the case with anybody, but I think you really saw it the most with Brian. Like I said, I think that line kind of sealed it for me. It was like that, that's what it was. And then also when it was Allison Sweeney and Brian Attilo at the very last shot, and then she says he was the best of both of us.
Yeah,
and that was kind of
also when Freddie said, "I'm burying my heart with you today."
I was like, burying a piece of my heart. Yep.
Oh, good night. But no, the part that actually got me was already when Kate and Sammy ran to each other and hugged. I was like,
that was such a great. Me personally, I love that moment because it's like when Lauren was here, we had talked about the history of her and Sammy, and to just have that moment of I understand you as a mother, and just forgetting about all the rough times, but remembering the time of when we tried to take down Stefano together, it was that was a great moment, and and it wasn't like a hey, bitch. It was kind of like, oh my God, I need you.
Well, it kind of ended on some good. And I love that Sammy had a quick little dig when they were kind of laughing about it. It's like, I leave for a year. Well, what happened to us come back a year later? And she kind of laughs, goes, it wasn't as much fun as it was with you. I was I was sobbing like a baby. I
think the other thing we need to talk about is who was there and who wasn't there.
And seating. I have a quick rant on seating.
Well, somebody just was upset that, I think it was Willa, that Ben was she was mad that he was there. You have to remember now, I think Lauren kind of touched on this when she was there. We have to remember that we see everything and they don't. So it made sense for her to be there since Abby was there.
Abigail,
it made sense. I thought it was ridiculous that she was telling him to go up and say something.
Don't get me started now.
No, because she felt sick. She just couldn't do it. You should say something because Will was going to be your best man. And I'm sitting there like, no, the hell he shouldn't.
No, he shouldn't.
And then he was like, I can't do it, Abigail. Why?
Right.
Yeah.
Because I killed him.
Yeah.
You're right.
But I don't think he should. We talked about Sonny not being in the front row.
Yes. I was like, why? Sonny is his widower. He should be in the front row.
Adrian and Justin were not there.
And Cheryl Hawkins was the point. Where was Carrie and Austin? I kept thinking this whole time. Carrie should have been there. Austin should have been there at least.
Yeah.
That's whole part of the storyline. That was the big storyline, was them. And off camera, he used to go visit them. And his Uncle Austin and Carrie. I'm like, yeah, even for a one-day stint, I could have flew down, homegirl from San Francisco.
I mean, you have to keep in mind, the show. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, where like Roberta says, where were Maggie and Victor? Where was Maggie?
Yeah.
Was Victor there? Victor wasn't
there. Victor was at the hospital with Caroline, but we never saw Maggie.
But Maggie, she's there. He's a Horton. They're part of the family. Why wasn't she there?
I don't know.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I don't know. There were some people. You know what? There were background extras there.
There were. I know. I saw. So I was like, oh, okay.
It's like because there was this one guy sitting there. I was like, oh, was that Will's friend? Did he work at Sonic Magazine? What was your role? But yeah, I see what you're saying. As far as seating and people who should have been there, the whole town is that should have been a cast day.
Roman was there.
I agree.
Roman was there.
Yeah,
I remember seeing. Somebody said that they didn't remember seeing him.
He was the second row.
Yeah, he was next to Kate, I think.
Yeah, because Eric sat up front.
And Abe was there.
Abe was there. Well, and then they did Abe lose a child?
When they flashed to Marlena, of course, Hope, and Abe.
Yeah.
And I was like,
did Abe lose a child?
Okay, as a historian, I don't think he lost a child because he had Theo. He had Brandon's his son, of course.
Well, Zach. I was wondering if they were referring to Zach.
Oh, okay.
Because Lexi stole Zach.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give him that.
That's what I thought. After I thought about it for a while, I was like, oh, well, he was part of that whole Zach storyline. Didn't really lose. I mean, I guess he did lose him, but it wasn't really his. So.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Lucas mentioned tea in his speech.
I like that.
He should have been there. Brendan the Coughlin, he's a great guy. He should have been there.
Yeah. I think someone tweeted him, and he tweeted back and said, T should have been there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I think this is one of those things where it's like someone wasn't really thinking.
Well, I don't think they were thinking when they decided to kill Will, first of all. Let alone, I feel like the funeral was a reflection on what they thought of that character, in my opinion.
Yeah, and
it was like, okay, well, it was a half hour of the first episode, and I'm like, you sent the tweet like, the half hour in, and I think I messaged you guys, and was like, I'm gonna have a hard time getting a quote of the week this week.
It wasn't anything funny or
I'm hoping it picks back up and those start, because it was a rough one for me this week.
And I wanna say this. Here's my little rant.
Okay,
because ever since Chandler Massey left and Guy Wilson took over the role, we've heard swirlings of like it's the worst casting or recast of Guy Wilson as Will and blah blah blah. Me personally, I feel like Guy brought a different Will. As all of the Wills have. Yeah. We all enjoyed Chandler. Chandler was amazing, Emmy Award winning, actor. But I think with the character of Will, Guy did bring in something different. And I don't think that he was bad as Will at all. I think that, I don't know, it disheartens me to hear people speak about an actor in that way. And I know in soaps, like, it's very hard to see a recast happen. But in my opinion, Guy did a great job as Will. I feel like he definitely could have been a Sammy Jr. And could have played that really well had the writers had really taken it there. But I want to give kudos to Guy Wilson.
Yeah.
Well, as devil's advocate,
of course you're going to come in and ruin my rant by being devil's advocate.
People are like what you say. People say they agree with you and stuff. I'm just saying, for me, I was never a Guy Wilson fan, but as I know how things work on soaps, and so it was his turn to do it. And I think, actually, I will kind of agree with you on one small part, that if they went the Sammy Jr. route, I think he actually could have played that.
Who?
Guy Wilson.
Yeah.
I feel like he probably maybe even better than Chandler Massey. Maybe I don't know. The whole he went full Sammy direction. But I didn't take him on the whole. I didn't really take him.
I just think
I was such a fan of Chandler and the Wills before Chandler. A couple of Wills before Chandler I liked also.
Okay, and let's just clarify this too, because everyone keeps saying, I had read somewhere too that they were saying, well, they couldn't recast Will because there have been so many Wills. Okay, first of all,
but there were Will in stages.
But that's what I'm saying. This is only like, Will really only came like full storyline with Chandler Massey.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yes.
Yes, he was. I mean, yes, he was the infant that Sammy was fighting about with Will or with Austin and Lucas. Yes, I get that. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But like the real character, like person that developed this character was Chandler Massey, hands down.
Yeah,
we all can agree on that.
Yes.
So this is only two people playing that part.
Yeah.
There have been how many Romans? You know what I mean? Like it's just like don't like. I just feel I feel like there are excuses that keep getting thrown out there about it. Just admit you didn't want to continue the storyline or whatever it is that. I mean, obviously they're not going to do that because it's Hollywood and whatever. But it's just it is what it is. And
but I will say the funeral. I mean, besides things we kind of ranted about, the funeral itself, I think it was pretty well done for what they did.
Yeah.
I mean, and everybody's speeches were kind of spot on.
Yeah.
I thought speeches were Marlena, Kate. They were all great speeches, and I was actually shocked they didn't have Roman talk.
Why?
He's the grandfather.
Not upset about that. Not upset about that.
Okay, but did anyone else have that thought of when the end, when before Sonny left and he went back to the grave and he put the picture down, and then the wind blew it? My thought was, oh no, the picture.
No one else thought that. They were like, that was sweet.
Well, no, I thought, oh no, but then I thought, they tried to like artfully like display like the grave. Now, did anyone else try to do the math real quick, like 1990, 2000?
Okay. As a historian, they fudged his birth.
Well, of course they had to.
Yeah, because I'm like, Sammy wasn't even on a show in 1992. I mean, she wasn't even on there. I mean, she was a baby. She was a kid.
I wasn't even paying attention to
I watched
My thing was, there's not a headstone that fast.
There's that too, right?
The headstone doesn't get put on.
That's not.
But this is Salem. You can fly from Salem to Italy in one day.
Yep.
And be back.
You can do that in.
No, I mean go and come back.
Oh, in a day.
Like you can go,
I got
your business, and then come back.
Okay.
In one day.
Right. Well, Laura says Roman and Will weren't that close anyway. That's true.
What I was thinking.
They weren't that close. You're right. He didn't accept it.
And someone said that the Isaac is who Abe lost. the child.
Oh, because of the switch.
Yeah.
It was Isaac and Zach, and it was
Yeah.
all switch.
Yeah.
And then one baby died.
Yep.
And that's, it's
And
almost
then that's because her baby died, which was Isaac, which was
Yes.
actually their baby.
Yes.
And then Lexi found out that it was
That's
her
right.
baby, and she's like, "I'm keeping it."
Because remember, was just
Like Madonna, I'm keeping my baby.
They called him JT, and there's a whole big thing with that.
Yes.
That was like, yeah, okay, good call, you guys. That's
Yeah.
good. That's
Good
right.
call.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not, Will, I agree with you. Tombstone, that's too fast. I buried enough people. Tombstones don't happen that fast, but it's Salem, like you said.
It's funny too because when I went this morning when I was looking desperately for a quote of the week, I went back and rewatched Monday, and it was so funny because I don't know, like I felt like the funeral was a week ago. Like when I was like, oh, that was Monday. Like it just seemed like so
So
far
long
away
ago.
from what we ended, where we ended it on Friday. So I have a feeling that will be happening more because from what we're hearing is that everything's going to start happening a lot faster. And stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess we should also mention at the same time, because even as we part of our next storyline I'm talking about, but Andre.
Yeah.
I guess the wake, because it's actually the funeral and the wake. They had the wake. It was kind of nice. I like the moment between Sammy and Gabby and little Ariana. That baby is. That baby
And more
hugs.
importantly, you're leaving out a major detail about.
It has
This.
something to do with Billy Flynn.
No,
like
it
what?
doesn't actually.
I was like, what?
It was in the Brady Pile.
Oh, yeah, that was the Brady Pile.
We got to see
Thank
the
you.
full-scale Brady
Thank
Pile.
you.
Yes, it was Brady Pile. It was a Brady Pile.
Thank
You're
you.
right.
It's not the Brady booth anymore.
Yes, it was.
Tell me it's not amazing.
No, I love it. No,
to see them.
Well, they showed Bo's house. They showed the Brady Pub. No, I love seeing.
I mean, it's big enough to dance in.
Oh my God! Don't get started. Oh my God!
We'll get to that in a little bit.
Oh my God! But I did like the mug. That baby hugs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so funny.
And
It's like,
Camila. I'm going to try and say it like she says it.
Camila Banos.
Camila Banos.
Camila
She even said how well behaved the babies
Yeah,
are.
great.
Yeah.
The girls.
Although I don't know if anyone else caught this, but this week, Gabby and Ari were in the Horton Town Square, and she's always kind of looking. But then I think at one point she like looked into the camera and she was like, but then
cut away.
But then they like clicked,
Yeah.
and I was like, that girl is starting to be a little aware of what's going on.
She's going to be a new Lauren Bowles.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
but-
I miss Lauren Bowles already.
Back to Andre.
Yes. So, as we know, he found out that basically apparently stuff's happening off camera. Obviously, he got a pardon from the governor.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Which I'm like, okay, sure.
Because that happens.
That happens.
Right.
And that now
When you're DiMera, it does.
I guess it does.
Yeah.
And the statute of limitations for all his crimes is just like, now it's too late.
But I'm sorry, the way that he presented it
go.
all was amazing to me. He was just like, Roman was like, well, I'm glad you're here. You're under arrest. Oh yeah, about that. So I have a pardon from the governor, and that covers all that stuff there, and then also all of that other stuff. Yeah, it's ran out of time.
Yeah.
And then just walked back, and I was just like, kudos.
Yeah, he did. He was smooth. He was smooth.
That's how daytime works.
But Andre's so smooth. Tail Penguin does such a great job. You can tell he's loving himself right now, and he's so smooth. He's just like, yeah, here you go. Take that, Roman. And then Roman punches him, of course.
But I love how everyone was confused at first. Like someone was like, Tony, and he was like, no, Andre.
He did.
Yeah, Tony is still dead.
Yeah, Tony's still
Still
dead.
very much dead. And that Sammy lost it.
Oh, I know.
Like, you're still alive, but Will is dead. And for a moment, I thought, what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
No, but they have a history. Sammy and Andre have a history, a long history.
No.
There's a whole point. At one point, when he had kidnapped EJ and Lucas, and said, "Which one should I shoot?" and made her choose. I remember that storyline. And so she got the gun and she shot Lucas by accident. There's a whole story. I mean, they have a whole history between them. So yeah, Andre did not like Sammy. So
Yeah.
Sammy had a reason to get a little upset. But his entrance was glorious, and he is back. He's like, "Hi, I am back, bitches. I am back. So get ready."
Yeah. I was kind of like JJ in that whole situation. JJ was like, "Who's that? What is that?
Oh, yeah.
What is going?" And Jennifer was like, "I'll tell you about it later." I'm like, I'm sure somebody else who just probably started watching Days
Say the same thing.
was like, "Who is that? What's going on?"
Why is
But
that?
I love that they had that sort of like representative during that
agree.
time.
And so I guess, and Sammy and Eric, the twins, talked about basically the letter. And so she's going to go off to, I guess, Switzerland. That's kind of part of that storyline, I guess, because she's going to go out. So we don't know, like, she's staying on the show. Is she back? Is she done?
Sammy?
The camera's a follower.
I think that was it.
As a follower.
I think that was it.
I don't know. I mean,
That's not it.
You don't think so?
No. Because that's going to leave the whole thing with EJ and the letter unquestioned.
Well, she said she's just going to see. She's going to go follow up.
The camera will follow her.
Camera will follow her.
She's not off.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah, Willow's right. They're actually giving kind of the one-liners and stuff to Andre, not Victor anymore. It seems like all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That they're giving it to him. I mean,
Well,
they both
Victor's
can
in
do
a
it.
different. Although Nicole handed him something on a golden platter, and they dropped the ball there in the writing, in my opinion. Which is like, we're gonna be family again, and he was just like, ha ha ha, or something. He didn't even like. I was like,
"Be still my
no,
heart
that's
is
not
right,"
what Victor would say.
Right.
So yeah.
And so speaking of Andre, so he's also part of a heavy part this week on a storyline with Aiden and Hope. Well, mostly Aiden, because he's talking to Aiden. Hope doesn't know what's going on. Here's the story. Okay, folks. It's a storyline I'm not a fan of right now. I'm not
a fan of it at
all. I'm not co-signing it. I'm not into it. It's just like whatever. But the one part that was cool, we talked about this off camera, was the Wednesday episode where they showed him in split screen, kind of seeing it play out if he actually killed
I did
Hope.
kind of like that.
That was kind of cool. That was something different.
I liked it, but it was very creepy.
Oh, it was so creepy.
But that's kind of what I liked about it.
But there was also when he was Aiden watching future Aiden. I felt like there was a moment where he was just kind of like unsure as to if he should actually do it.
Yeah.
Like there were moments where he was just kind of like, I don't like, he's seeing it play out in his mind, but it didn't seem to me like he really was committed to doing this.
I agree with you. I think he does love her.
Well, he did say it this week. He's like, "You're making me kill the woman that I love."
Yeah, he did say that.
Well,
he actually said that, and I kind of was like, "Oh, so he does."
Right,
he is in love. Because when this whole transition happened, I thought the idea was that he doesn't actually love her. He was just doing this all along to get whatever it is he wanted to get from her, do whatever they wanted him to do.
Yeah.
But he actually said, "You're making me try and kill the woman I love."
Well, and here's the other thing. They're trying to make it seem like he's in huger debt than the $100,000 that he borrowed from Hope.
He said a few weeks back. He said she doesn't know about all the money you owe, right?
Yeah, and
I was like, well, how much does he owe?
I thought, because it seemed weird that like he had the $100,000 from Hope, which apparently is all he needed, but then it got paid off, but then he owes more. Like I was kind of confused about that. Was anyone else confused about that? I was confused about that.
I'm
like, give me a number. Like everyone was throwing out $100,000 one week. Like, can I get a number on how much? Like but you know what though? I would understand, because if Aiden still owes Sally Mae for his law degree, then I understand.
Yeah, that's true, right?
I understand why he's in so much debt.
I don't know if you saw this, James, or not.
Yeah, I was looking.
Kendra.
I was looking at that.
Kendra just said, #hopeless. I hope Aiden kills Hope.
Kendra, I'm going to tell you right now, because we're friends on Facebook, on Twitter and stuff, girl. That is not kosher. You're making me bleed. My heart's being buried right now.
Oh my goodness.
Don't say that to me. Don't say that in my presence.
Oh my goodness.
But on a side note, I really was a little upset. My cousin Jason, who's in Dallas, Texas. Hi, cousin Jason. He's Jen to my Hope. So he's been doing this for years. And I felt like the scene that Hope had with Abby should have been with Jen.
Yeah. Well, I think she says, didn't she say,
I'm going to talk to her later. No, it should have been on camera.
Yeah.
Because they haven't had a scene together yet in a long time. And she's talking to Abby about being a bridesmaid. Who cares? You and Jen are cousins. You guys are like sister cousins.
Oh, yeah.
They should have been talking online. And so and I'm shocked, because since Days has been really good about actually having these really great scenes, I mean, they're longer. I'm shocked that they didn't do that, actually. That's my only little quip with
it's
that.
because, they both have bad men in their lives, and they at least they have been in Aiden to lean on.
Yes.
That line cracked me up.
Oh, yeah.
It tickled me.
I know. I'm like, oh my
It tickled
God.
me.
I'm like, and so I was just kind of like, I don't know if I know about that, but this week we actually saw Aiden have some kind of remorse and kind of like, I don't want to do this, when he was changing the insurance policy and the whole thing to $5 million.
Yeah, how can he just get on and change?
I know.
He's a lawyer. He's a lawyer. While we're mentioning Aiden, let's talk about grown-up Chase.
Oh, yeah, obviously he popped in, taller than his man. So he's totally huge.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad, I need a key to the house.
Yeah.
Oh, look, this nice man who's about to offer me candy is talking to me. Stranger danger.
Yes. I was like, hello.
This man here said he was
Stranger
your
danger.
friend.
They're like, hello.
Yeah.
I'm like, it was kind of like, okay, but he's like taller than Daniel Cosgrove.
Well, what's also interesting was that I was expecting to see the rest of them.
Yeah,
I
me too.
know. That's
me
what I
too.
thought too.
Like I was like, ooh, where's
But
Sierra?
I
Right.
didn't. I
Yeah,
didn't
right.
remember seeing that he was going to start airing. Like
neither.
Kind of surprised me. I was like, oh, I missed that.
It's like, who's that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Chase.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a month ago, you were playing Monopoly with Little Sierra.
Little Sierra.
And now you're grown.
Yeah.
Right. But they'll be on soon, obviously. I mean, but it's just kind of funny that it was like,
that
yeah,
means they're coming.
They're coming. They're coming.
They're
Days are
coming.
coming.
Yeah.
But that storyline, that's all I can say about the storyline. I really don't. Yeah. And the wedding's coming, and so it's all going to be November 6th. So I guess we'll have to, or whenever it is, the bicentennial thing is.
I love that you just gave out a day. Oh, it's coming up November 6th.
Whatever the day is.
Like, it made me look like, James, do you know something
I was
that I
like,
know?
I was
Well,
like-
it'll probably start on the 6th.
Or
We'll see
sometime.
everything on the 9th.
Yeah,
You know what I
like-
mean?
yeah, it's like whatever it's going.
6 is a Friday, right?
Yeah.
So they'll just start, like, the wedding music will start. And then the episode will
yeah,
end.
right.
It's not going to be anything.
Yeah. I'm just throwing out some dates. I don't know, but I mean, me and Hope have been talking about just throwing some dates. Yes.
Well, speaking of hope, there is hope that Bo is going
good.
to be found. So this is what I love about the Steve Bo storyline, is that even though Kayla's all like, don't talk to my mother, she's not well enough to deal with your shenanigans, he still goes in and he's like, well, tell me, what do you remember? And she's vivid, like, whatever.
I know. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Whatever medicine they gave her.
But she was
I
having
need
these
that.
visions before that medicine.
No.
Yes, she was. Because remember, when she was first in the hospital, she started having these visions of Bo. It was before she was medicated.
I felt like it was after the medication.
No, I don't think it was. I think it was before. You guys check.
I'm trying to think.
Fact check.
I want to say it started
It is before.
but it's accelerated to now she can really
Like now she could just go, okay, let me pull that
It's
one
a
up.
Spanish name.
Yeah.
I think it got accelerated after she got the.
Maybe.
But when she first went in, she was having the vision. She was already like doing the
Oh.
bow, 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 and like when he was getting tortured. Remember, she was seeing him getting tortured, and she kept
Yeah.
saying, "I see him. He's getting tortured," and
Yeah.
blah blah blah. So
Well,
Yeah.
the drugs have enhanced her sixth sense, apparently.
yeah, clearly.
Now,
And-
Sue Moreno says she was having visions after her stroke.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
yeah, it was before, but
Yeah.
I think it's accelerated even clearer now that she's had.
Mark
Yeah.
is right.
Okay, he read that part. I didn't read that part purposely.
Well, they wrote it in capital letters. Oh,
my
there's
God.
another one. Mark is right.
Oh
Mark
my
was
God.
right. Oh, keep saying it. Keep saying it.
But I will say, I did like when Kayla did tell Caroline. That scene was really kind of touching because she did love Will, of course. And,
Oh, yeah.
And then the house where she just calmly falls on her chest
Yeah.
and just kind of like.
But then
looked at her
that
face.
was it.
And that was it. I was like,
And
okay.
then next thing, she was just like, I gotta go.
She did. She was like, I gotta go home.
Yeah. But
Needed a rosaries.
But
yes.
I-
Well, before
Roman,
another.
I need my rosary.
Yes, before another injection of that dose
Serum.
Serum.
Who
Well,
gets injected with?
this is what I don't understand. Why isn't Kayla or Hope, Detective Hope,
Yes.
not believing Steve in that? Like, the only person who seems to believe Steve is Caroline
And Joey.
And Joey.
and Joey,
Because he thought he had to stay talked.
and of
Yeah.
course Victor.
And Victor, of course. I don't know. Actually, on this one with Hope, I don't know this one. I would think she would kind of believe it. I think she does a little bit believe now there's something going on.
I think she does. I think she's just so far removed now that
Yeah.
she just rather just forget.
Because on the way she has to. It's just kind of like, 'cause he's part of my past, kind
Yeah.
of. She's like, I'm busy with the,
Hope, yeah.
Well, let me tell you, Hope is very much Bo's future. He's so delusional
Oh,
in
I
that
know.
little Mexican hut that he's in. Like,
Hey, first of all, who just has a map? And just where it goes, I need a mappa. It's called a carta or whatever, but I need a mappa. And it was like, he's speaking Spanish. I'm like,
Oh, Bo.
yeah, I was
Give me a
like,
second to-
when he was at first, Luisa was like, who just has a map laying? I don't have a map laying around anywhere that I know of. I
You
used
don't?
to. I used to have a Thomas Edison map. I used to have those a long time ago, but
the Thomas guy.
Thomas guy.
Thomas Guy. I used to have those a long time ago.
Oh, time.
I'm old.
I know Thomas Guy.
Yeah, so I used to have one, but I don't even know if I have one laying around somewhere. I have to look for one. Just Google Map it. No. Yeah.
Listen, you have to be that fan that with whatever Dave's gives you, you just take it with open arms.
That's
and just
right.
receive it.
That's right.
So Bo needed the map to find the safe house that is in the area that the ISA has.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Steve is still lurking around and gets to the safe house first.
Yes.
And
gets knocked out, of course.
yeah, and first of all, for it to be a safe house, how did they find it? How did the people who are like running this, the captors, find the safe house? Not safe no more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not safe.
And then has shackles, conveniently.
Yeah, I guess all of a sudden there's a bar down there.
Well, I
Like,
keep
why is there a
shackles in
bar
my
down?
trunk.
Why is there a bar down the floor and a floorboard? Like that's kind of weird.
But I have to admit, I did like the part when Bo got brought in because even as delirious and no shoes having as he is, he still made it to the safe house, only to be reunited with Steve. And they kind of had this connection.
They smile like okay.
I knew you would be here, bro. I knew it. I knew you would be here,
that
bro.
Scene
Good to see you, bro.
That scene was almost as good as when he said, "I'm going home." Those two scenes to me were just like, because he's like, "I'm so tired." Now we go with Steve. He's like, "It's gonna be okay now." Like almost like it's gonna be. We're gonna work this out. Like,
I'm so bored with it.
oh my god.
You know why? Because it's taking so long.
But it's not really. It's not really taking that long. I just find myself drifting. I don't even remember. Honestly, when you guys are just now talking about him bringing Bo in and them seeing each other, I don't remember that even happening.
You know why? Because pizza rolls.
Oh, pizza rolls.
Hashtag pizza rolls.
Oh, speaking of things that Mark didn't remember, while we were talking about Hope and Aiden, Sean D.
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Was that my job to bring that?
No, I think it was mine. Well, at the very end, Sean Douglas walked in. Jason Cook.
Yeah.
How did I get in trouble for that?
Well, because earlier you were
you missed it.
Sean D came out.
Because you guys were talking about it, and I was like, I thought I heard that Sean D was there, but again, I think that was end of Friday. I remember watching. I had watched Thursday, and I started watching Friday and in bed, and I remember kind of drifting off. And like waking back up, so I was kind of going in and out. So I think I missed that part because I remember going back and looking at like the last couple minutes and going, okay, I did watch all of Friday. But then when you guys said that, I was like, okay, then I clearly dozed off at some point. So I went back and I watched him walk in. So,
he said, "Oh, so you're the man who's marrying my mother."
But he said it with a little smile, like it didn't look like he was being pissy.
No, right.
So
it's kind of like he was trying to be like man of house.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Yeah,
you're the guy.
Yeah. Totally.
I'm sorry. I like Jason Cook. I'm a fan of his. I like Brandon Beamer too, of course, but I'm a fan of Jason Cook's Sean Douglas. So
my mama said, if you don't have anything nice to say,
that has never stopped you.
Yeah, I know.
I just like Brandon Beamer way better. I like
them both, but I like Jason Cook. He was I like his acting. Actually.
And then somebody else. I don't remember who it was. It was a while earlier when we were talking about Andre. Did you notice that Julie and Doug knew it was Andre? They didn't question whether it was Tony or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Doug and Julie, the little interrogation that they had.
I like that. That's good. Go on, Doug. That's right.
My thing is didn't we have this scene already?
We've already been there, done that.
That's my thing. It's like we had this scene. We had this moment. Stop it. We turned the page. We're on to the next.
Yeah. Accept it.
Yeah, well, sometimes.
But your girl Kendra likes Sean D too.
So, she does, and so
are you guys friends again?
Well, I guess we're friends. Kendra, now we're okay again because you did say that about my child. I mean, Hope's child, Sean D. Yeah. So we're good again. But as we were talking about Steve and Bo, they're back together. It'll be interesting to see just what happens out of that, and maybe a lot of people in the chat room are bored also. Apparently, with the storyline.
And here's what I'm going to say about this with the Sean Douglas thing.
Yeah.
So there have been 2 Sean Douglases, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's talk that there's recast Sean Douglas. So that would be 3 Sean Douglases. Isn't that too many to be recasting?
They also had a child.
I mean, it was too many for Will.
It's kind of funny.
Just saying. Just saying.
He's just saying.
Jonathan on my Twitter. Shout out to Jonathan. He said about Chase, worst case of sorrows I've ever seen.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
With Chase just popping
Chase,
up.
Oh my god, that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't really remember other ones. Like I don't remember the transitions. You know what I mean? Like I don't really remember. I drank a lot in those days.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
And still does. So
I don't really anymore. Well, other than this morning.
Oh boy. Then we
I got 2. I only had 2, and I was like, woo.
course you were. And then we have to talk about
Oh yeah.
the confession
The confession.
of Ben to Clyde.
Oh.
I thought that was okay. First of all, we knew that he was basically trying to frame Chad, but
Yes.
to be that cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, to where you just start killing people. And I told you guys I think it was last week or the week before when Will died, that he had a little bit of remorse about what he did.
You said that. You just said that.
And once again, we saw it again during his confession. Like it's almost like
You felt like he had remorse during his confession?
A little bit.
for Will,
Not for Serena.
because it was one of those things where it was like I feel like he, in a sense, maybe without saying it, he acknowledged that he's doing wrong, and he acknowledged that specifically, basically, when he had to kill Will.
Mm-hmm.
And I say he had to kill Will because Will was figuring
Yeah,
it out.
yeah.
And so he did that, but then there was that slight of like, for me, I had that feeling of like he feels bad about this, and internally he's feeling like this is now getting out of control.
See, I didn't get that at
I got a little bit of that. I got a little bit. And I
all.
still felt some self-indulgence in there. Like I had to do it. Because you're a crazy person. But no, I did feel a little bit of that too.
But I don't get crazy either.
Oh no, he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
he's crazy.
Well, I mean, clearly he's killing people, but
listen, let me tell you what makes him crazy, okay? Now, first of all, this is all over Abigail, first
Yes.
and foremost,
Yes.
okay? So you mean to tell me that you need a girl that bad to where you now have to kill people in order to prevent her
Watch your mic.
from being someone else?
That's like,
Like, this is my theory. I think what's really going to happen...
wait, can you do this with your sitting on your hands?
No. I think
we all talk our hands too. It's so funny.
I think that what's truly going to happen is that this isn't the real Ben. It's actually like a Sammy Stan kind of a thing.
How funny is that? Said Stan. Oh my god.
I remember Stan.
And when,
Andre was part of that too.
I actually knew him.
and when
Dan Wells.
when everything gets taken off, it's going to be Mark J. Freeman.
Trying to find Melanie.
I wouldn't be setting up Billy Flynn unless we were going to get put in jail together.
No.
I'll listen to you. Oh my god.
You're trying to keep Abigail away from.
Well, I would have killed Abigail.
Too obvious. Too obvious.
You got to
Too
go,
obvious.
girl.
Too
You got to
obvious.
go. Okay, so I have to read this.
Yes.
So we were talking about the source of the kids. Lee Davenport Jerd just said the best source was Brady and Belle where Marlena goes, "Wow, you grew so much while we were on our honeymoon." Thank you, Lee. I didn't
That's a
remember
good. That's
that
a good one. That's a good one.
So I thought that was funny. I had to show that.
That was funny.
But so they had a confession, and it was so funny because Clyde was like, okay.
Clyde-
His face was like, James Reed did a great job. He was like, oh.
Yeah, he was totally taken back.
Yeah, he was
I
like-
don't think he was expecting
He
that.
was taken back, but I think he knew that that Ben had this potential.
Oh, really? Okay.
I feel like the way James Reed played it, it was almost like I knew you were cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
I knew.
You'll get to ask him tomorrow when you interview him at what time?
That's right. We're going to be interviewing James Reed, ex Clyde Weston, right here on
tomorrow.
AfterBuzz
Oh,
TV at
someone send me a
12:30
text.
Listen, you need to tell Siri.
I'm gonna remember.
Siri.
I'm not gonna remember.
Tell
I have to
Siri.
get a haircut too, so we have to work this
Well,
out.
listen, you tell Siri to remind you because get it together. So tomorrow,
Yes.
Siri, remind me tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. that I have AfterBuzz at 12:30.
30. Tried it. So tomorrow we'll be talking live with James Reed. He's actually going to be Skyping in because he doesn't live in Los Angeles, but he's going to Skype in and take your questions and everything like that. I can't.
It's like he's doing work while we're on camera.
That is so much.
So we'll just keep going. So basically, but I'm sorry. Before we even, the confession was crazy.
Yes.
Did you notice at the end when they were pulling them apart,
Clyde
the red light though came on behind Ben all of a sudden.
Oh, did it?
There's a weird red light came out. So like, I think that's this crazy thing they're doing. Like when he's crazy, the red light comes on.
Mm-hmm.
But with him,
in the apartment?
crazy.
Yeah, but with him
at the police
at the
station.
police station, a little red flash.
Can we talk about the So you just going to confess to all the killings at the police station?
I know.
And nobody knows?
There's no bugs anywhere or
Well,
nothing.
he even didn't Clyde say I checked the room for bugs or
He did
something
say
at some
that.
point? I'm
Oh, he
like,
did.
when? You've been handcuffed in a holding cell.
It was-
When did you have a chance to do that?
And also, I don't know if you guys took this in a certain way, but like very powerful men always have insiders at the Salem
That's
PD.
true. Yeah, I don't even do.
And for the first time,
Maybe Lonnie.
I don't know. But for the first time, we saw that Clyde had his two people that were a part of the Salem PD. So, okay, Clyde, you were powerful. I get it.
But when they were getting pulled apart, they ran back together like they were lovers or something. It was so crazy. It was like, wow, they're so.
Yeah, it was weird, and I think it was weird because he was handcuffed.
Yes,
and I was like, dude,
we gonna make out. Like, what's going on?
Like, it just looked silly. It looked a little silly, but whatever. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that.
But we get that they were being torn apart, so to speak.
Yeah.
And James Freeman was off the show.
I actually thought it was more odd that the guards stood there awkwardly in the room at the beginning. Like, I didn't get, that seemed more weird than having them leave. Like, they should have just came in and left. I mean, I get why they did it, so they can be like, we want to be alone, da-da-da. But that just seemed weird, because I don't think that they would necessarily keep them in the room.
Right. Yeah.
Stand in the room there with them.
Right.
So that seemed weird.
You just stand outside the door or something. Like, I mean, because the homeboy was chained. I mean, what are we going to do?
Yeah. So there was that.
That was that. But it's a major plot point.
I was gonna say Clyde didn't get a chance to tell us his secret.
No, he didn't.
Because just when he was about to say,
I'm like, is he here?
Ladies and gentlemen, roll tape.
But I was upset. I wanted to hear what he had to say.
And now he's gone.
Yep.
He's bye-bye. But obviously he could come back because
it's just so funny.
At least that door's open.
I actually started to like his character.
Well, and I feel like I'm going to keep saying this. Lauren Kasla she had said a lot of stuff in the interview that kind of and I think she hit the nail on the head, that once they made him that whole rape and stuff with Jordan, it just made, you're just like, there's no, I mean, Jack's probably the only one that kind of got away with it, that you ended up liking later. I mean, I guess it is possible down the road, but like she said, it's just hard to embrace that character when you have that knowledge.
That stigma.
You know what I mean? So
and so that leads into Caroline, Victor, and Kayla. We kind of touched on it a little earlier. We kind of touched on it. Yeah. Basically, she got another serum before she leaves. Yeah. She's going home. That's the whole big deal. That's the thing. And I mean, I guess that's all. I mean, Victor is heavily involved. So there's something going on there.
I'll hold your hand while he administers. Oh, will you hold my hand while?
No, stop looking at the IV. Hold my hand. That's what he said.
That was cute. They're having very cute moments.
It seems to me that they're leaning towards Caroline and Victor.
They are.
I don't know. And I don't know if that is because they want to put them together again, or my theory, Bo goes bye-bye. And so they're kind of back together, dealing with their son's death.
But I like
or Hope.
Or Hope. As Tony was said,
I got it.
But that side eye though.
I was like, don't even do it. No, but the thing, I actually like that it's showing a mature couple, mature threesome, so to speak, having a storyline that actually works with history. And it's actually something that's kind of contemporary, kind of disease or whatever, or mental or whatever that's going on. And it's just three people we like. And I think
you're talking about Caroline, Victor, and Maggie.
Okay. Why not? It's a multi-generational show. Why not?
Yeah.
It's interesting. And anything that has more John Aniston on TV, I'm just like...
Yeah, I'm all about giving John Aniston
I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
So
I'm all for it. So anyway, so she left the hospital. So that's basically her deal. Yeah. And in the hospital, Steve and Kayla kissed.
Steve kissed
her.
Yeah.
She loved it. Homegirl loved it.
She liked it.
She did. She liked it.
Well, speaking of doctors in the hospital.
Yes, your favorite.
My nemesis, Daniel, clearly has been taking dance lessons.
I mean, that was...
Girl, when he got up and looked at that... Okay, first of all, as a bartender, if someone would have been like, hit the music. I would have been like... Sweetheart, no. No. I mean, come on. Tell me that was not the most ridiculous. I'm like, okay, we haven't, first of all, the fact that they do it is one thing, but we haven't even seen him for like a month and a half. And then they're like, we got an idea. We're going to have you dance.
We're gonna have you plan your wedding.
Yes.
Give us
Valentine's Day wedding.
Because they're so busy in the meantime.
Busy. Lots going on.
Yes.
And
so we know he's gonna be around till Valentine's Day.
Yes, at least. At least till February.
Here is it wasn't.
Everybody hates it.
I love the song.
They all hate it.
I do love the song. It was an awkward dance though.
Yeah, that's what we're saying too. Yes.
Because it wasn't like this very like loving, like just kind of glide, but it's almost like they tried to choreograph it, but
it was completely choreographed.
Maybe they were just kind of like, and one
And
spin
two, yeah,
and then come
right.
back and then we move. It just seems so.
Well, you know what I think? This is what I thought as soon as it happened. I was like, oh, we need footage for when Dan dies for them to play, for her to reminisce. Because there's really not a lot of stuff between the two of them.
So great, you're going to reminisce on an awkward dance.
On an awkward, well, for them, it's not.
To John Legend.
But, yeah.
No, the thing is what I looked at as the historian of the group, it made me feel like they're trying to harken back to the old days when they would break into something like this, the romantic part of Days.
Yeah, and I get that.
And I remember even back then, I'm saying even back then, it was a little cheese. It was always a little cheese.
Okay, it might have been a little cheese, but at least when they did it, it was just very like, I love you.
Like when Hope and Aiden danced, that wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't.
It was. I mean, it was
nice.
still. You could
And
tell
I mean,
it was like, and 1, 2, 3.
But
1, 2, 3. Like you could tell, but
that eyebrow.
Yeah. But she knows how to pull that off.
When they put her on the table and it was like and the patrons were watching, it was like, this is just too much. I had to laugh.
It was just.
Daquan agrees with you.
I know.
Daniel dies on V-Day, and I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, and thank you, Cheryl. The dancing was nowhere near as bad as the shaving.
Oh yeah. That's right. Oh yes.
That was just plain ridiculous.
Oh my god.
Okay, so we just have to get away from that because I can't deal with it anymore. Anyway, so let's talk about. Okay, I am so confused, and I don't know if it's because I daydream during Days of Our Lives a lot, and I'm doing other things. I multitask a lot. Correct me if I'm wrong. Adrian and Lucas broke up.
Yes.
She decided she wants to be with Justin.
Yes.
That is true, correct?
That didn't seem like it.
I was going to say, this week, I kept going, what's going on?
She was
it was like,
it's like
you have your life, I have my life, we're divorced now. And then Lucas, I'm here. I was like, what? This is a complete 180 for me.
Well, I like it.
It was like something went bing.
I mean, I'm not disliking Adrian and Lucas. I'm not saying that. I'm just completely confused. Because if you're telling me,
but wasn't that different writing or no?
The new writers are the ones that had her say.
Right, okay,
I've decided I want to work things out with Justin. That was the new writing. That was like the first week of the new writing.
Okay, yeah.
So that's why I was so confused. I was like, I don't even know.
Well, I guess for me, I don't like Justin and Adrian together. I never thought I would say that as being a super couple fan from the 90s and 80s. I can't believe it. I don't see any chemistry with them anymore. I actually see it with Lucas.
I agree.
So I'm just like, whatever you want to do. I know. Remember he started coming over. He started coming over recently. I was never a Mucus fan, or whatever I called him back in the day.
Who was from the beginning.
And you were. But now, I just...
Welcome.
But I really do.
Welcome to my side, the dark side, darling.
But I love when they went on that hike and they were overlooking Salem, and she's like, "See that beautiful."
P.S. That's a new place.
Yes, the new lookout.
Yeah, and it was like you see this, you see that.
Because they switched the shrubs.
Yeah, they did from the park. Exactly.
And lowered the background.
And then they twist tied some flowers onto the bushes. But I learned that at Warner Brothers.
But I thought it still kind of sweet because when they said that's Tordentown Square, you can see it goes. I can see the cemetery where my son is buried.
I know.
And I knew that was coming.
I knew it was coming.
But that touched me also. That totally got me. I was like, but that's within the care. I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, if they start making out, it make no sense. It was like that was kind of like, now I see my son's cemetery.
This is so funny because when we started talking about Adrian and Lucas, everybody was no. Every person now is saying Adrian
James,
and Lucas.
how could you? How funny is that? You guys were all totally against me when I was
because I feel like it, and for me. It didn't happen until they were in Hortontown Square. She had the envelope to find out whether she had the bric-a-brac cancer.
Yes, bric-a-brac.
That's the technical term.
The Brecker gene.
Yes, the Brecker gene. And she was about to find out, and then Lucas came, and he's like, his aura was just very like loving and concerned. And then Justin came around, and it was just like, no, I'm not. That for me was when I was like, okay, I'm down for the Adrian and Lucas.
And here's what this is just.
You were from the beginning. We get it.
No, I was from the beginning. Thank you. But here's what I'm saying is like this. Okay, so the new writing takes over and this and that, and I get you come in and you don't want to. You're like, I don't like that they did that.
Yeah.
I want to switch that back. Blah blah blah. Like you have your opinion. In my opinion, here's what should happen. So you keep them together. They've already created this couple. You keep them together. Then you just create something that pulls them back. I mean, that's what daytime's about, is it not? So keep them together if you don't like them. And then Lucas cheats on her, or she, sleeps with Justin one last time, and they, like create a rift to just walk in and be like, okay, I've decided you know what I mean? Like, it's just so harsh, and it could give you a great storyline. Everyone here now, I'm seeing people say that
some like it now.
Said they like it, and they say no, Lucas should have his own new woman. Okay, we'll keep them together and then experiment and see who he should. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like anytime it's like we were talking about, and you're gonna get mad at me, Billy and Abigail, because that kind of wasn't really a huge relationship when they were younger, but now it became something bigger, and now it's like driving this whole storyline, and that just happens.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like, just let stuff stop force feeding everybody.
Yeah.
Why am I on these tangents?
I know. You're wrong. I'm no wrong. We have some people in chat who don't agree with us always.
Someone said I'm wrong.
Yeah, so it happens. We're right, we're wrong, whatever. It happens.
So moving on before we run out of time.
I know. Ray from Lonnie, we don't got much. You have a set time. Like, I got another show to do.
Oh, no, we're not. We're not out of time.
We're
not out of time, are we?
No, not
as we're running out of time.
We're not running out of time.
We are. We have 15 minutes.
Oh, no, we don't. We have more than that.
What clock are you?
We're fine. We're fine. Go ahead.
Ray for Lonnie, I have nothing to say, because I mean, they're fine, I guess. She turned him down, or he turned her down.
I thought you were talking about JJ and Gabby.
Oh, JJ, oh my God. I went to Ray for Lonnie.
Yeah.
Well, and we're done, right? Okay.
Well,
JJ and Gabby. It's one of those kind of shows.
But see, like, I think that is, like, they're not, like, they had a legitimate conversation.
They did.
She
JJ
was
and
like,
Gabby.
yeah, he knows about her half sister.
Right.
Please tell me. I'd love to know more about her. And then he's like, oh, that felt good to talk. Like, that's what I'm talking about.
And also,
stop forcing stuff on people. Like, that was great.
Who laughed when JJ said that he wanted to be a cop?
Where did that come from?
I think
he'd be really good. I think he'd be really good. What do you mean, Roman? You think he'd be really good?
Yeah, this from Salem's finest.
You help with one case, and all of a sudden you're just like on it.
Yeah, it's like I'm just like
it was so ridiculous. I was like, really. It was so out there. The fact, it being out there is one thing, but then just the flames coming out of Abigail and Jennifer's heads about it were just like insane. I was like, really? I mean, I get that you don't want to be a cop, but like that anger towards it was just like, what?
But then, like, when he was talking to Gabby, they had a legitimate conversation about like that as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then speaking of cops, with the whole Rafe and Lonnie thing, the whole inviting to lunch, and then she tried to be a little ballsy and was like, well, how about dinner sometime? And Rafe is like, I see where you're going with that. We're co-workers.
Right.
How about I invite some other people?
My buddies, you could meet them.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's kind of like,
well, they're gonna have, we need something for Hope to be jealous about.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
No, because
I'm not silly. I know what's going on.
Speaking of Rafe, guess who? Guess what he? Speaking of Rafe, guess what he's gonna be? Aiden's best man.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Why couldn't he just ask Chase?
That's what I thought too.
I was like, why?
He's grown enough.
Exactly. And people, I mean, how many times you always see them asking their child to be their maid of honor or best man? I was like, really? Like, come on.
Yeah, because they're trying to,
right,
show that whole
exactly.
And apparently, even though he's been there for 2 years, he don't know nobody except all the people that he owes.
I know.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah. Well, that has been your week of days, and it's now time to start our segments, and we will start with my favorite, the 3 Snaps Award. Now, it was an interesting week. I almost gave it to Ariana Grace when she pointed to the camera because I thought that was cute. But then I thought to myself, how would I be like if I was on the show and I was Maxine's son, like, what would be my headspace? And I went to one character who decided that he needed an entrance to let Salem know, like, hey, I'm back. So my 3 Snaps Award goes to Andre Demera as he sauntered into the Brady pub where he knew all of Salem would be, and he looked at everyone and said, "I'm back. I'm not Tony, but I'm Andre. And P.S. You can't arrest me because I have a pardon, and all that other stuff is outdated." That is an entrance. So my 3 Snaps Award goes to Andre DeMera. 3 Snaps Award.
There we go.
That's a good one.
You better have that entrance. You can't even call it an entrance. You have to call it an entrance. That's an entrance.
He had his papers.
He had his papers and everything. You would have thought he crossed the border somewhere. Or something.
He was ready. He was ready. And now it's time for my Look Who's Related.
Who related?
Okay, so we got a picture of that. I guess they'll show it up there. And
They will.
Okay, so this is actually a demand from the fans and from the viewers, and because originally I was going to do the 2 Roman Bradys and I'll do a whole thing on that, but it's actually about John.
Okay.
People are wondering what is going on because he's looking for another identity again, and isn't he a DeMera and isn't he a this? So you guys aren't crazy. John Black, it was off camera. He came back and said, when he came back on camera, he found out in Europe that he wasn't a DeMera after all. It happened completely off camera. So
But that was the phone call? Was that a phone call?
Yeah,
as well?
but it was all off. I'm just saying it was all. There's the 2 Romans with the original Roman Wayne Northrup, because this is great.
John and that hair though.
From 1991. That's right, kids. But
We have Wayne on the show.
I love to have Wayne on the
I
show.
love him.
So the point is, you guys aren't crazy or anything. It was completely off camera that it's been decided that he's not Colleen or he's not this son. He's not related to any of that now. So the only people that he is actually biologically related to are his kids, Brady, Paul, and Belle, and his grandchildren, Claire and Tate. That's it. And he co-raised Sammy and Eric, but it doesn't matter. That's the only people he's related to. That is it. And so you're not crazy. We're going to find out who John's related to at some point, and I'll do a story on it.
Can I just point out that on the cover of that, I mentioned John's hair, and right under that, the caption said, "Soap opera advice for hair."
Did it really? Oh my God, I didn't even know someone did that.
It
It's
is.
so funny. That is funny. That is funny.
All right, and now it's time for Mark's Quote of the Week.
My quote of the week, which I said was very, very hard for me to find. But when I was rewatching, I think it was Tuesday's episode, this scene came on and I forgot, I did really laugh at that, even though it's morbid.
Yes.
And Daquan's going to hate it, but I don't care. So my quote of the week is when Andre was talking to Aiden, and they were talking about killing Hope, and he was like, "How could you make me kill somebody and leave her, this young girl, without a mother?" And Andre says, "I wouldn't worry about the young girl if I was you. Plenty of Brady's to take her in. Perhaps Samantha. I heard she has an empty bed now."
So bad. I love it. It's so bad.
It was so I was like, "Oh, he went there."
Yes, he did.
Completely went there.
So Andre, you get 3 snaps and quote of the week.
Okay.
Congratulations. I think it's because he's hanging out with Billy.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And now let's go to some news and gossip.
Woohoo! I have to look at my news and what do I have to say?
Oh my God. Well, it starts out with Tony first.
Okay, good.
All right, so first of all, we had the pleasure of having the one, the only, very beautiful Miss Lauren Koslow, who plays Kate Roberts.
Could you see me? I was literally I watched it back the other day because I was staring at her. She's so beautiful. I just found myself just going,
yeah,
she's so beautiful.
She's pretty.
So make sure you guys look at our Facebook page. We have the interview posted there. I think maybe you're looking at some
footage of it
as we slowly talk about it.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
With my blue streak.
Because when you have a lot of storyline.
There is, there's the lovely, beautiful Lauren and Mark J. Freeman.
With my blue streak.
Yes, and Mark did bring out a blue streak.
Yeah.
So we had a wonderful time with Lauren, and we can't thank her enough for coming in. It was a wonderful time. So make sure you go to our Facebook page, DISHIN Days, to find the link so that you can see the full interview. Now, this coming Monday, tomorrow, October 26th, as I mentioned earlier, we have Mr. James Reed Skyping in live to talk about his time on Days and everything else. So if you would like to join the live chat, make sure you join us at 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is 3:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
Yep.
And if you guys wouldn't mind tweeting me and reminding me that I need to be
So make sure you guys tune in. It's going to be a great time tomorrow with James Reed.
Yes. And folks, you can look on our Facebook page, Dishin Days. We have posted a special video that was made by Issa, one of our big fans here from France, and with heavy help from Susie Morales-Smidley. Yep. She did a lot of pictures. It's a video for Christopher Sean. Today is his birthday.
Happy birthday!
He's a friend of the show. You know, he's Paul, friend of the show. And Mark and I are in the video, actually.
Yeah,
Mark did one and I did a little one.
Shout-out.
About the birthday shout-out.
I forgot.
But he loves Christopher Sean also, so it's no big deal either. So it's fine. So you can check that out on our Dishin Days page on Facebook. So it's a really good one.
And did we all see the new soap opera digest?
I saw it, yes.
I hope everybody's sitting down. Matthew Ashford in the new soap opera digest says he is not opposed to returning to Days of Our Lives. Mm-hmm. So I hope that this is all leading up to...
Bring Jack back. Hashtag bring Jack back.
I may have to bring in combination pizza rolls that day to sell.
Combination.
Pepperoni sausage.
Nobody eats combination pizza rolls.
I do on special occasions.
Boo.
Like hashtag bring Jack back.
And as you guys do, if you guys didn't know, we do have a spotlight on with Matthew Ashford earlier this year with Tony. So you can check that out.
I called him. I called in.
You did call in.
Because I was in Ohio.
You called in. You called in.
So I called from my mama's kitchen table.
Oh my God, that's so funny. So that's interesting. You may come back. It's kind of crazy.
Well, speaking of coming back or coming in, I saw online that coming in the spring there would be some new Days characters, including a guy named Mark.
Maybe it's me.
Not after you hear me say this description.
Oh, what's the description?
So Mark is a teen jock.
I mean, hello. You see me, all you think is teen jock.
So Mark would be a teen jock, and he'd be joined by his father. And then there's also a new teen girl and her father coming in. And then there's also plans of adding new doctors as well. So that should be coming up in the spring. So make sure you take a look at that.
You're doing it. I thought you meant Tony's going to be one of the new doctors.
No.
That's so funny.
But speaking of doctors,
you want to say? Doctor, you did put me next. Oh, I thought you were joking when you said.
It's you.
Yes. So, Sean Christian is on location filming Hidden Truth, a new film. No date of release yet, but the doctor will be busy since he's not as busy on.
Oh my God, there he goes.
Moving on.
Oh my God.
I thought you were kidding when you said I had to do that.
So coming up on October 27th on the Today Show, some of the cast members of Days will be on to talk about the Days of Our Lives 50th anniversary book. I believe is going to be Deidre Hall and Greg Ming.
Yeah, I think so.
They're in New York.
Yeah,
they were,
and it could be some other cast members because they're doing a book signing.
They're signing there also. Yes.
Yeah.
In New York,
which I think Eric's there too. Isn't Eric and Jen there?
I think so.
Because they weren't at
right.
the Grove.
And speaking of the book signing, if you want to know, they're on a book tour right now, people. So you can go to days50.com to see where they're going to be show up next. They've been around the country so far, 3 or 4 dates, I think, so far. And they're here, of course, in LA.
Today was the first day.
Today was the first day.
I thought they were like, no, today was the first day.
No, today was the first one.
Okay, yeah. First one.
And we went.
Yes, we did.
And we got the book. Yeah.
We got the book.
There's the book.
There's the book, kids.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
Sorry,
yes, there we go.
Now, unfortunately, we got to meet a lot of fans. Not unfortunately, but we got to meet a lot of fans while standing in line. So shout out to all the fans that we met and that we told about our lovely Dishin Days.
Our show, yes.
But as time ticked away, we realized that we had to beat LA traffic in order to get here on time to do our show.
Right.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to meet anyone, which means James Lott Jr.
We saw a couple people come in. We saw them come in.
We saw some people come in.
Erupted.
So, folks, everybody's been asking. I saw when Kristen Alfonso walked in and my heart dropped.
Yes.
But sadly, I did not get to meet her this time. So it'll make it better for when we finally get her in this chair.
I told him
and I'm holding on to her, crying on camera. That'll be even better.
Yes. Yeah. Some people are asking Do you know if they are adding more dates to the book tour? I'm not sure, but if they do, it's going to be on days50.com.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to see some of the pictures that we have, go to our Instagram page, which is DISHIN Days, and then tweet us and let us know how you feel about all the pictures and videos that you saw, and include @Days of Our Lives. So when you tweet us, also include @Days of Our Lives. Let them know how much you enjoyed the show and how much you enjoy our Instagram photos from the book tour today.
Instagram, is it at NBC Days? Is that how it comes up?
There's two.
How's it come up?
Days of Our Lives. No, it's Days of Our Lives.
What?
I was trying to think the different when you tag them. Is it also NBC Days?
It's @Days of Our Lives on Twitter, and you know that it's this one because they have the little check mark.
Yes,
okay. There.
The verified.
That's the official
But there's one that's @Days of Our Lives, and there's two S's.
Yeah, something like that.
It's not that one.
No, it's
it
not
actually is
that one.
@Days of Our Lives.
It's at Days of Our Lives. There's two. There's there's @NBC Days and @Days of Our Lives. But I want you guys to use @Days of Our Lives to let them know how much you enjoyed this show and all the posts that we had on our Instagram page from the book tour today and our spotlight ons and everything.
Please tell them.
Yes.
And somebody asked earlier where the hourglass is, and it's right there.
It's right here.
Right here.
I don't know if they just couldn't see it. Maybe it wasn't in the shot or something when they first looked. But it's here.
It's here. We got it.
It's here.
All right.
We did not lose it.
And we're out of time.
That's it. That has been
And the sangria was fantastic.
Oh, it was delicious. It was so good.
We had a great time before going over to Barnes & Noble's.
Yeah.
We got a chance to actually just sit and talk. We rarely get a chance to do that. So we went over to the Cheesecake Factory and had food.
We
Shout
did
out
not
to the
have
Cheesecake Factory. We did not have cheesecake.
We would have thrown it up anyways if we did.
But we had
we're
fun.
ladies. Ladies who lunch.
Yes. We had fun. We chat.
Yes.
We were all pumped up and excited to go over and meet the cast of Days of Our Lives, but unfortunately time got the best of us, so we weren't able to do it.
Yeah.
So but we want to know if you guys are planning on going to the book tour. Tweet us and let us know.
Yeah.
Post on DISHIN Days your photos when you go to the book tour, because there's more dates coming up.
Yep.
So before we have to head out, Mark J. Freeman, let them know where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter @Lorraine Love, LORAYNELOVE, and on Facebook /the Mark J. Freeman.
And you can find me on Twitter @BlackHopeLA. That's BLAKHOPELA. Instagram LBlackHope, and on Facebook James Lott Jr. And of course, I'll be staying here during the General Hospital GH Report next.
And of course, you guys can find me on all social media platforms @Lounging with Tony, or my website loungingwithtony.com. I'm sorry, Rook King, I just looked into the chat room. Apparently I must have missed something that you wanted me to say. My apologies.
He wasn't happy with us today.
Wasn't happy today.
But he always watches us every week, so he's in there.
Well, I appreciate it. You guys make sure you stay tuned right after this for the GH Report, and we'll see you next Sunday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for another DISHIN Days.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.